Three. Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Popcorn. This is Jason.
And this is Kai, and we have another great discussion for you today. The movie of the day is The Game. And just a heads up, it's an older movie, so maybe you've seen it, but if you haven't, we're going to be discussing it, and there may be some spoilers.
Yes, spoilers indeed for a 1997 film. But yes, this is The Game. It came out in 1997, and this was directed by David Fincher, who
So
brought many good movies to us.
I actually didn't know it was David Fincher until I took that screenshot to send to you.
Yeah, I think afterwards it popped up like directed by David Fincher. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
like I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the movie thoroughly, but I was like, man, this is dark. And then when I saw David Fincher, I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah, it kind of like yeah, you get it afterwards. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
okay, I think that's why. That's why this is a wild ride.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, we can start talking about it. What'd you like about it?
Yeah. I like the whole thing, honestly. So I don't think it's a comedy. Like I don't think it's categorized as a comedy, but I treated it like a comedy. Like there was so many moments in that movie where I was like wanting to laugh, and maybe because I'm twisted, but it just the whole premise of it, like the fact that this man, like, it just has so much money. Like I treated it like, okay, these people have so much money, they don't know what to do with it, and so this is how they have fun. And so all the chaos he went through was just hilarious to me. Because I'm like, dude, you put yourself through this. Like you wanted to do this.
Yeah, because it's almost like there's a point in the movie where the cop is like, so, but you're the one that signed up for this. You paid for
Yeah.
this, is what you're
Yes.
telling us.
This is your game. It's like, dude, what?
Yeah,
Like you can't freak out now.
yeah, and it's like it is like it's the I guess the tried and true story of when you have way too much money, you don't know what to do with it, and then you're
Hmm.
like, here we go, we just got something to buy and everything, or some random thing. I was thinking about like I towards like when he's like signing all those documents. So like in the whole premise of the story is that like he pays for this like service to like make a game for him because like he can pay for it and they it's like this mysterious game that's like it's um it's tailored to the specific person, and so he goes through like this whole like testing and everything, psychological testing. He signs off all these documents and he goes through a physical. And I was sitting next to my girlfriend. I was like, how many times do you think like billionaires nowadays are stuck? Like they just like randomly do something that someone was like, no, please don't do that. But they're just signing off on some document because they're bored, probably. But for me, yeah, I can see where it's like it can be labeled as like a comedy or a dark comedy. I like the
Yeah.
suspense. There was a lot of suspense
Oh yeah.
and definitely you're like
There's
there, you're
twists and
reacting to
turns.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely where it's like he
Like
somehow
what's gonna
wakes up in
happen
Mexico
next?
and stuff
Yes.
and there's like and then towards the end you're like, oh, like he like totally went crazy, and then it's like what? Like it's all a game. Like the title is very true to the story.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like it, but then you're also like what's good about like these thrillers and these suspense based, and it's a mystery that you're also trying to solve in your head throughout the movie. I think what like sort of what kind of like the majesty of like the Glass Onion or all what was it, Knives Out and stuff.
Yeah, no, so like
Yeah, or like
Clue and all that.
Clue. Yeah, Clue
Hmm.
was like a big hit because it was like literally the audience can kind of enjoy it with the characters and stuff and be
Hmm.
like, oh, who they are part of the mystery and stuff too.
I don't know if he was enjoying this. I don't know if he was enjoying it. We were enjoying it as viewers. I don't know if he was enjoying it.
Yeah, well, it's like we were along for the ride and
Uh-huh.
didn't have the repercussions of like possibly thinking your millions of dollars is
Oh,
taken
when
out
he
of your
called, that was so funny. And
yeah,
he's
and then
like,
you
"Nah, my
find out
bank
like, all
account's
right, like that's how
fine."
they got his password. Like, oh
Yes.
man, like I would told that would totally be me. Be like, just like you're trusting someone next to you, and you just start calling your bank and you're like, yeah, here's
Hmm.
my social security number, just check if I have money, and that's how they get it and stuff.
Yep.
And or even not knowing like who's part of the game. Like remember when he's trying to like talk to his lawyer,
Oh
and
yeah.
the woman that he's with is like, no, he must be in on it. It's like, oh my god, you
No, but
can't
then
like.
even when he went back to the hotel room and it was just photos, cocaine, just stuff everywhere, just debauchery.
I don't know about you, but I would have been like, who cares? Just leave. I can
Yeah,
pay
I would have
for it
left.
later.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah,
been like, no fingerprints, I'm gone.
yeah, no fingerprints. Yeah, there's coke everywhere. Who cares? Like, like you're quote unquote a millionaire, or probably what a
Yeah.
billionaire would be nowadays and stuff. And you're
Hmm.
like, who cares? Like, I can pay off people or something, which is not
Exactly.
technically what you're supposed to be doing, but
I
at that
own the
moment you're like,
cops.
who
Like I'm
cares?
good.
Yeah, I've unlimited amounts of money. I don't know. Yeah, and then it's like like the end story. I think Sean Penn plays his brother, his like a strange
Oh.
brother that what it with when they met up at the restaurant at the beginning, like Sean said it was like 3 years since they saw each other, right? Or something. It
Hmm.
was like some crazy, and Sean Penn has been like in and out of like
Rehab or whatever.
rehab and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and he's the one that introduces him to this
The
company that
game.
creates this game. Yeah. And so
DRS.
yeah, CRS, and then you see it every once in a while, which is
Hmm.
like the security van that's
On the
sitting outside of a
cars and
random
yeah, the
house,
vans and
or
stuff.
the taxis and stuff,
Oh, that
and
taxi ride was so bad though.
which is like probably he went through like two of everyone's nightmares is getting thrown into the ocean inside of a
Hmm.
car, and then almost like I was like when he woke up in Mexico, I was like, oh shit, they buried him alive. I was like, that's like the worst.
Oh my goodness.
Or
So,
even just waking up in a random country is probably one of the worst nightmares for
oh, for
people.
sure. And have no money and no passport.
Yeah, and then you have
You're
to go
just
deal with
like,
immigration. They're like, who the hell are you talking to?
for real. So in my notes, I put
Yeah, Kai took notes during this.
oh, so one of them is it's not like this isn't in order. I thought it was funny how enthusiastic he was at the beginning regarding the game, like when he overheard those two guys at the bar.
Yeah, like his like club and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then so enthusiastic he was at the beginning regarding the game, but got a bad taste in his mouth as everything progressed. So that
yeah,
was one note, which we already talked about. And then the second one was the brother, Sean Penn, was a POS, piece of shit.
pretty much. Yeah, I don't know how you don't like. I have siblings, and I don't know how you don't punch your sibling in the
Yeah.
face when
Well, he
this
did
is
do
all said
something
and
to
done.
his sibling
Basically, yeah,
at the
he
end.
basically killed him. He thought he killed him,
Then he came back.
and then he kills him. He quote unquote kills himself. So what he
Yup.
believed, and I was thinking, what happens if he dies like going down through that drop and everything, and then like he just shows up in the middle of the party, and they're like, "Oh shit,
Just
we
dead.
fucked up."
Everybody's waiting for him.
I can ask you this:
uh,
did you believe his live-in maid was a part of it? Because she's a guest at that party, but she looks shocked,
yeah.
and
No, so
it's
even when
like,
he like banged on the door, like, hey, I think somebody broke in my house.
yeah,
She looked legitimately shocked, but I'm like, lady, you live next door. You would have heard somebody in the house.
right. So yeah, it's like I guess like you still have those questions of like, it's not necessarily like because nothing really like happened in terms of like there was major crimes and stuff. No one died. No one did all
Yeah.
this stuff. But like
People
you wonder,
almost
it's
died.
like who yeah, someone almost died. But who was a part of it and who wasn't? And how much does someone trust for this person to not be a part of it and not screw it up or something? Or
But I'm
it's like
wondering how
super
much
intense.
planning it took to have that. There was so many people involved. There were so many intricate pieces. Like I wonder how much planning went into that.
Right. And then how much that bill was at the end when
Oh
still
yeah.
like
You know it
because
was
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's like because like yeah, I guess like that's the whole point. So we end it with like, do we believe CRS or consumer something resource specialist or something? I
Yeah.
forget what the company was called, but is it a real company? Because the woman at the end, who is like all throughout the mix of everything, is an actor within this, says she does it all
Hmm.
the time. So I'm guessing they
Yeah.
do this as a real
But a
thing all
lot of
the
them
time.
said that. They're like, oh, the next job is in what, Italy, France, something like that.
Yeah, like
Like
they're
they're
all
going
gonna
to
be
another country.
leaving to something
Yeah.
else, which is like something like it would have been awesome if like David Fincher decided to like, oh, I'm gonna create like a whole universe where this happens everywhere.
Oh, like they did for Knives Out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's like I wonder if like little by little, like people like the person that is creating Knives Out and the Glass Onion and stuff, but this supposed to be a third one also, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
whether or
similar
not,
to White Lotus too. Like, I don't know if you've seen the show White Lotus, but they're kind of doing that. Like they treat it they treat the White Lotus Hotel as a luxury hotel, and they have multiple throughout the world. So the first season was in, I believe, Hawaii, so US, and then the current season's in Italy, and then the next season's going to be somewhere else. So it would
mm,
be just like that.
yeah, because technically, what Sean Penn, the brother, said that his was in London or something, or in the
Hmm.
UK. So whether or not that's true or not, was that part of like the whole lie and all that stuff? But I think that was sort of the best thing that happened for me for the movie, where not going in there blind, I had no clue what the movie was about. I even like right when I rented it, I was like, I have no clue what this movie's about. I didn't even read the synopsis before I watched it.
Oh, I
But
just watched
that
the trailer and jump into a movie. I don't
I
have any
don't think I watched the
synopsis.
trailer. I can't remember, but it was. I don't think the last time. I think the last time I had that much kind of fun watching a movie was Knives Out, where it's like you really don't know what the hell is going on, and you're living moment by moment with the character, and towards the end you're like, holy crap, like this was all a joke or something. It's like some like random joke, and but everything felt so real, and I think that's like to the
Yeah,
testament of David Fincher and everything. Like I think you definitely can feel it,
that man's a
his presence and everything.
genius.
Yeah.
He does not get his the praise he deserves.
Yeah, because like I guess it's like you can see why he goes on to make films like what was the one
Fight
with the
Club, Seven,
Seven, but then also what was the one with
Social Network.
the one with like the dead wife and then she wasn't dead.
Oh, Gone Girl.
Gone
Oh,
Girl.
I
Yeah, he
love
goes
that
and like
movie.
makes that film. So it's like it's almost in the same light where it's
Yeah.
like in that film, spoiler warning for that one, the wife is end up not dead, but then you're like, what the hell is she a part of it? Like, is she creating this thing? So and
She
Seven
was
is
having
also
so
another
much
one.
fun in that movie. Yeah,
Oh
Seven.
yeah,
What's in the box?
yeah. Then, yeah, I think that is like the true mastery of what David Fincher has been able to figure out is to
That man
create
builds
that suspense.
worlds in
Oh
an
yeah,
hour and a half.
yeah.
Like Fight
And this one
Club,
was
like
long.
what?
This one was like what, two and a
Oh,
half
yeah, they're like
hours?
two. Yeah, two
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And so that I
But
was
it didn't
afraid of that.
feel that long. Like you
No,
watch a Scorsese movie and you're like, dude, my whole day is shot. You watch a Fincher
with
movie for 2 hours, you're like, I enjoyed the hell out of that.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I want to talk about it more. That's why we have this podcast, most likely. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it definitely does. I was very afraid towards the end when you know that there's like a crescendo coming, where it's like the you should feel what the end is and how that's going to
Hmm.
transpire. I was afraid because, granted, I listened to the Tarantino the podcast with Tom Segura over the weekend,
Yeah.
and he says typically these thriller movies, they're good for the first like three-fourths of of the film, but then the last half an hour they like drop
They
off.
tank it.
Yeah, and they tank it, and
Yeah.
it's like they just don't. It seems like some people just don't know how to end certain movies. And
Yeah.
this one, and no matter what, David Fincher, I think no matter what, knows how to end a movie
Oh
with
yeah.
like all the
He just knows
suspense
how
and then
to
all.
make a movie.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it's like we should learn everything we can from this person.
Oh, for sure.
But
So I had a couple other notes.
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no.
Um, we talked about it already, but yeah, I have one note is I'm convinced rich people are just bored and have to find outrageous shit to do. Um, and then one that I think you'll enjoy as well is I legitimately put side note, the SF Zoo is a piece of shit.
Yeah, granted, this whole film is based in San Francisco, which we are known, like we know we lived in San Francisco, we have visited San Francisco and all that stuff. We're originally
Yeah.
from California. But yeah, it's like
That whole like I
the
remember going there as a kid though, and you go into that wildcat area and it's just a bunch of caged wildcats.
yeah.
And they had that in the movie, and I'm like, dude, this area is so fucked
Yeah.
up.
And you wonder now why they put glass panes and not bars anymore because of those
Oh
children in
yeah.
the background throwing crap into it. And yeah,
Well, then
I
one of the
still think,
tigers went crazy.
yeah, yeah, right. It's like, yeah,
Hmm.
that's a sad story, but
Yeah.
but granted, that was a human thing that person was not supposed to be doing that, but
Human
uh,
area.
yeah, it's like I still like the San Francisco Zoo, the reptile house still looks like that. Like you walk into the reptile house and I can believe that it still looks exactly like that. That concrete and just kind of like a single color all around and everything. Granted, it's probably to like emphasize the animals, but uh it's just like a concrete house that has like all these reptiles, and that's what the tiger house was like too back then.
Hmm.
I don't know now. I haven't been to the SF Zoo
I
in
haven't been
forever.
in so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Which
imagine it still being the same though.
yeah, it's been there forever, and it's like right near the
Yeah.
ocean too. It's like it's so much salt everywhere and sand and everything.
Yeah, those animals are screwed. Yeah, it's sad.
But to your
So,
first point that like rich people are just rich and have nothing else to do. I was at the beginning when you see him, like he's like very well off. He has someone cooking food for him. He doesn't need to worry about like, oh, am I gonna cook my breakfast in the morning? Am I not gonna eat in the morning because I don't want to cook my
mhm.
food or something? And then you drive to your building and then you like just stop at like an obscure place and some person takes your keys and drives it off to valet it and everything. I'm like, this sounds pretty damn cool.
Mhm.
Like to see the other side of the fence, I think it looks pretty nice. But then, yeah, but then I'm assuming you just get really bored. You're living in like a giant house that like
Yeah.
you're the only one that makes all the noise and stuff. So I
Mhm.
can see it gets bored. It looks nice. It looks like I'm assuming we all
Yeah.
strive for that because no, who doesn't want unlimited money and never want to worry about money? But I can see that like once you start buying everything you want, nothing feels like true anymore.
Yeah.
You can try to buy yourself some happiness, but you end up doing this.
It's
You buy
not gonna
yourself
work.
almost a heart
Yeah.
attack and almost killing your
You jump
brother.
off a building.
Well, those are good
So
points, actually.
the last note I had was we kind of touched on San Francisco, but I like the way that they showed San Francisco. It was dark and gritty, which is different than how most movies show the city. Like you watch a Marvel movie, watch Ant-Man, watch Shang-Chi, it's bright, shiny. You don't see all the
Yeah.
traffic, the griminess of the city. But this, it was like Zodiac. It was just like, hey,
Hmm.
this is what's going on here. Like
Yeah,
it is dark
you
and
feel what
cloudy.
a major city typically feels like. It's not clean all the time. It's
Hmm.
not sanitized. It's
Nope.
there's
There's
massage
people
parlors
everywhere.
and
There's
all this
things
stuff
going on.
everywhere and some random laundromats
Yeah.
and it's not just looking at the Transamerica building all the time or at that point the Transamerica
Yeah.
building was probably I think the tallest building in San Francisco at that moment. Now we have this it was someone described to me was the
So
giant penis in the sky, the Salesforce Tower, but but it showed like the Bay Bridge. He almost drowns under the Bay Bridge, but the
yeah.
taxi.
Which was
But
a
yeah,
beautiful shot though. It
yeah,
was such a beautiful shot.
it's just a
But
scary
the man
moment,
almost
but
died.
yes, yeah,
But I
it's
really enjoyed that. Yeah.
me too. It kind of like yeah, because you brought up Shang-Chi. There's like this moment in like the Muni bus, and
Yeah.
a Muni bus never looks that
No,
empty and never looks that clean.
there's always, it feels like there's always somebody in the back shooting up on a minibus.
Or just taking a leak somewhere and all this stuff,
Yeah.
or you're jam packed to the gills and you're like, I just need to move 1 inch so I can get off at my next stop.
Hmm.
Or you just
Elbow
like
to
go onto
elbow,
the back.
shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. So yeah, it is nice when I think when people understand that like when you sanitize things like Marvel, it kind of looks in not genuine anymore and
Yeah.
everything. It kind of removes the flavor or the context that you're trying to like bring by showing a city. Like, why use a city if you're not going to use the essence of the city typically?
Hmm.
I'm not saying that San Francisco is always dirty and stuff. Nowadays, a lot of people have like the stigma of like San Francisco is a grimy place to go to, but there's nice
It's not
parts.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not everywhere.
That's
It's like
any
it's
city.
yeah, any city like that
Mm.
anywhere you go and visit and everything, you're gonna have some bad parts and stuff. It's how you take the joy out of the city is how you do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
And
like that
now I
too.
realized why Zodiac felt like you got the essence of San Francisco and Zodiac also, because Fincher did that one too.
True. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah, I just watched it maybe 2 months ago. I'll have to check one of the freaking list I made, but
That's a good movie. That one too. It's like yeah, because
yeah,
like it's another suspense movie, and granted, that one's a
true
cold case
story.
file that probably would never. I don't know, like nowadays, but like that was like literally a crime series that would never end, most likely for San Francisco. But um, that one was a good one because it showed, yeah, just the hustle and bustle of a city typically. Like they're all
Hmm.
kind of traveling between places and using taxis or driving their cars and stuff and different things. And so it's nice to like embed the city aspect into the movie.
They even show construction at different places too. Like they show, you mentioned the Transamerica building. Like they showed the construction of the Transamerica building in that.
They did, yeah. My talking about my dad probably remembers seeing our parents probably are old enough to know that like when my dad would like used to work in San Francisco quite a bit and he
Hmm.
probably remembers when they were building and stuff.
He's probably
So
angry just like we are about
right.
about Salesforce.
Like
The
how much
building's too
money do you
tall.
need to show us to I remember just a little tidbit. I remember LA, I think, ended construction on their tower, which was supposed to be the largest tower on the West Coast
Mhm.
or west of the Mississippi. And then just like months later, the Salesforce Tower was done. And it's
San
like,
Francisco can't be outdone,
nope.
man.
But but I guess I can ask you this. It was hard for
Mhm.
me to figure out or to kind of think of what didn't you like of the movie? For me, I was like, to go to my point first.
Mhm.
I at first when I didn't know where the story was gonna go, I was like, I didn't care about Sean Penn's character, the brother, finding
Mm.
all those keys in there and getting all angered, like, oh, you're part of this whole drama and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like stereotypical, but I think David Fincher put it in there as a stereotypical thing to like throw off people.
Yeah.
And that was like if that was like in there and that was like the stereotypical thing, that would piss me off. That was like something I would not like, but it didn't turn into that. So I'm like, I have no clue what to pull as like a negative from this.
I don't think I had any. Like, so that was that point. The whole okay. The only thing I maybe disliked, and it plays into the same scene you're talking about, when the tire popped.
Mm-hmm.
Like they left the house, they're driving, everything's good. Tire pops, which is super obvious. Then he finds the keys, and it's like, okay. But it's not something I disliked about the movie. I think because everything turned around and that wasn't really a significant point, I was kind of like, I kind of pushed that to the side, like, okay, this is a really good movie. I couldn't find anything that
Yeah,
was
because
bad.
I think it added to what David Fincher was trying to do. I think he was using that to throw off people,
Hmm.
to kind of make people think like, oh, then who is a part of this? Is the brother a part of this, or is the main character a part of this and stuff? And or are they so embedded into the situation that it's almost like a pyramid scheme? Like for you to get out of your game, you need to bring in someone else. That's sort of what I thought at the
Yeah.
beginning, or when he kind of like was alluding to that. It's like, oh, do you like need to bring someone else, like another victim for them to
Well, it's
like
like the
take?
ring. Like you had to show somebody the tape.
Right? Yeah, to like just like hold off till like I think in the ring like it ended at your if you like were able to get someone else, but it's like it's almost like do you, is that how you slow them down from like taking all your money or stuff? And is it always I guess the question too, what it like if it was all true, like was their game to always just take money from people? But yeah, that I think the story was well written, the suspense was well done and everything. Michael
Hmm.
Douglas is amazing in it too.
Yeah. So was Sean Penn.
Yeah, so is Sean Penn. Yeah, I think they're both young and everything, and
I don't think Michael Douglas has ever been young.
no, I well, yeah,
I'm
that's
convinced he's
true, but it's
been
like
whatever age he was in the game his whole life.
his skin looks smoother, but he almost looks like when people try to like de-age people nowadays. It's like that's what he like he kind of came out to be where it's like, yeah, you can tell he's kind of younger, but yeah, he still looks
Mhm.
old. Like he still looks like a
Yeah,
rich like millionaire, like who just makes a bunch of money and stuff. Like, but yeah, he still looks like that today, and it's pretty amazing.
because
Sean
wasn't
Penn,
he? Didn't he turn 40? Or was he 45?
48, 48, because that's when his
48.
dad,
Okay,
yeah, his dad killed himself, and it
that's
just
right.
coincided with the same birthday. I thought also that the game, if it was all true, was for him technically sort of. It was for him to kind of like really digest the death of his father and stuff. That it
Yeah.
seemed like he was the one that kind of like pushed it to the side and continued making money and continued doing his
Hmm.
work. And so I thought it was like it's sort of I guess at the end still it's for him to like he even asked the maid, who I guess is a family maid that's been there forever, like how his father was in real life and like before he died and stuff. So it's like he did kind of have that closure, sort of. We're just figuring out like
Hmm.
you're not your dad, so you're not gonna like jump off a roof, even though he did technically. But he was reborn, I guess. I guess it's a way of being reborn. You jump off the
I
roof and you're like
guess.
not dead.
Yeah. And you survive, and you get a
Yeah.
cake,
And you get a cake, some
and
random
your
party,
brother's
like
not
everyone,
dead.
yeah, everyone just drinking like their asses off. And but yeah, it's like it was very hard to take any negative away. But then I can kind of go to
Yeah.
this. What did you rate the film then?
So I would fluctuate my rating. So I gave it a 3.5, but I would give it a 4, or even maybe even a 4.5. Like, I really enjoyed the movie. So at the time, I don't know why I gave it a 3.5. It should have given it a higher score.
Yeah, I think we're also still trying to figure out like what is sort of our rating scale internally. I
Yeah.
think when you begin to like watch movies and now you have to like not now like you've always kind of thought about that, but it's like when you try to add a star rating or like a rating system to the movies that you watch, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, all right, like I gave this one this rating, but why did I give this one this other one another rating and stuff, or the same rating, but
Hmm.
then it's like I had negatives for that one and I didn't have negatives for this one. Like in this one, I gave it 4 stars, and I think that was something I was like right after I finished watching the movie, and I was like, that's I think that's where my scale is for 4 stars. And I think that's where I kind of
It's
need to be more consistent to kind of like that's if it's better than the game, if I come out of another movie and I'm like, all right, this is better than the game, then it's higher than 4 stars. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm still trying to like battle with my internal thoughts of like what my rating scale internally is going to be.
yeah, no, I'm
But
still going back and forth also.
but no
Like the
matter
fact
what,
that I
it was
gave it three and a
enjoyable.
half, but I'm like, yeah, oh yeah. fact that I gave it 3.5 though, and I'm like, I probably should have gave it 4. I don't know how to rate things.
We're all just making it up. It's fine.
Yeah, just figuring it out.
But I think that's what like I think that's what's like good about movies. It's like you can always rewatch them and then like reevaluate your kind of mental kind of thought process of like why you gave it that rating, or like maybe you watch it again and you're like, no, that's a negative right there. And that's something I would not probably think as a positive or something, or think of everything as a positive and stuff. So, but yeah, it's like I gave it 4, and I am pretty confident in that 4 where I'm like, yeah, I think that's where I'll keep it at.
Yeah, I think I would change mine to 4. Like 3.5, I was like, like after talking about how much I love the movie, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have given it a 3.5. I should have given it a 4.
Well,
So I
I
don't know
guess
what I was thinking
it
yesterday.
opens the door for another watch probably.
That's true.
Well, I guess that goes to the point of the next question of like, would
Mhm.
you would you add this film to your personal movie collection?
I would. Yeah, I would love to watch this again.
Definitely. I think I'm in the same judgment where it's like this is definitely a movie I would watch again. This is definitely a movie I would tell people if they're looking for like an intriguing film to watch. One from a great director. I think David Fincher should be seen as like a very good director of possibly
Hmm.
great director and stuff.
Great.
And I think
Yeah.
yeah. And so I think this is like a good, I don't know. It's like I think most people have probably seen one David Fincher film, and The
Yeah.
Game is probably not on anybody's list of like remembering, oh, that's a David Fincher film. And so I think this is
Hmm.
something that can get lost in the weeds of all the other films that he's made. But this is definitely one that anybody should recommend to someone that's like, if someone's just asking, like, oh, what's a film that like you've seen recently, or like that is enjoyable or something, or like would you recommend? I think The Game should be one that like kind of pops to mind for anybody.
Yeah, because there's so many times when I think people gravitate towards newer movies more so than going back and watch older movies. But a lot of these newer movies pull from older movies.
Yeah, yeah, and you see a lot of things are they're like nowadays a lot of remakes, a lot of kind of yeah, they're pulling from other movies and see where things kind of started from, and
Yeah, get the
yeah, there's no
reference
harm in
material.
yeah, yeah. I think that's true. Where it's like why forget the older movies and stuff? And this is 1997, which is not oh
Hmm.
7 years old, but
No.
but it's not crazy old. It's
Exactly.
a nice
Is
color
this
palette too.
the no, this isn't
It,
the oldest one.
the color in it, it's like it almost kind of has like the same feeling as it's not raining at all. I think once it's raining
It's
in
just
the film.
cold.
It's cold,
Yeah.
but then it almost kind of reminds
Hmm.
you of like Seven, where it's like Seven, it has like a unique
Yeah.
style because it's like it's raining 24/7. But it's
Yeah.
sort of that same tone where it's like it's kind of dark, gritty, and
Minimal light.
mhm. Well, but it also emphasizes the light that's used in the film and everything. That
Yeah.
like when the light's there, it's for a reason. It seems like, and yeah, it's a really enjoyable film. I think it's a good one to uh to end what today's a Wednesday? Today's a Thursday? I don't even know what day it is.
Thursday.
But yeah, Kai, you want to take us out?
Yeah. Uh, Thanks for joining us for another episode of Saturday Night Popcorn. I'm Kai.
And I'm Jason, and we'll be back next week for another one. Thank you.
Thanks.